In the dead of night, young Matteo lay in bed, the low hum of the ceiling fan, a familiar sound against the distant rolling thunder. He closed his eyes, hoping for sleep, but what he found was far from peaceful. A vision, cold and terrifying, gripped his mind. In this dream, the world was coming apart at the seams. It began with Sioux, the most powerful and aggressive nation. He watched as vibrant, bustling cities were pounded into rubble, their once bright markets reduced to nothing but ash and smoke. He saw children, their bodies frail, succumbing to hunger. He saw the elderly, their strength gone, collapsing from exhaustion on dusty roadsides. Then a new kind of terror emerged. Bombs detonated in places once considered safe marketplaces, train stations, quiet neighborhoods. The nightmare intensified as Matteo saw the unmistakable, blinding flash of nuclear weapons. He saw their mushroom clouds rise and their terrible shadows scorch entire cities from the map, leaving behind nothing but radioactive silence. The world's colors began to fade. Rivers ran black with pollution and waste, and the sky turned a permanent, suffocating gray, as if the sun itself had given up. The war spiraled, pulling more nations into its vortex. Enevlev, Adenasi, Emergorp Aiknatsif, and Yapna all joined the conflict, each driven by their own motive sphere, greed, or a thirst for revenge. The world became a canvas of human suffering. Matteo saw the oceans churn with overcrowded, rickety boats carrying desperate refugees fleeing a home that no longer existed. He saw vital bridges, the lifelines connecting communities, blown to smithereens. Hunger spread like a wildfire, consuming everything in its path. He watched in horror as people were forced to scavenge for anything edible, digging for roots, hunting insects, stripping bark from trees. The great cities, once gleaming with neon lights and filled with life, were now chaotic landscapes of fire, smoke, and constant cries for help. The planet itself was dying. The oceans were choked with massive oil spills, their surfaces shimmering with a black, toxic sheen. In the ruins of cities, he saw prophecies scrawled on broken walls, ancient warnings that spoke of humanity's ultimate failure to protect itself, to choose peace over destruction. Every act of war had a consequence, a ripple that turned into a tidal wave of disaster. Famine led to plague. Chemical attacks poisoned the land for generations, and the constant threat of nuclear fire hung over everyone who remained. The world was a feedback loop of destruction, each catastrophe birthing another until there was almost nothing left, just as the overwhelming despair threatened to swallow him whole. To trap him in this hellscape forever, Matteo awoke with a sharp, ragged gasp. He was back in his room. It was dark, quiet, normal. But a deep, unshakable shiver ran through him. He felt a strange compulsion, an urgent need to connect with the outside world. There, on the national broadcast, was the leader of Sioux. He knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone that somewhere far away the first strikes had already begun, and in that moment Matteo understood a terrifying truth. And the shadow of war, once cast, can stretch much, much longer than sleep ever dares. Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, Please consider subscribing for more content that explores the depths of our world and our imagination.